G'day guys, have you had this experience? The drowning man. Has this happened to you? And are you still alive? Well, you must be, because you're listening to this video. You're watching this video and you're listening to me discuss this. Now I'm going to tell you some things about this because it happened to me, and I realised something about this. When you're drowning, right, there's only one. You don't have any other thought than doing one thing. There's only one thing on your mind. The one thing is get the next breath, right? Fighting the water and trying to get the next breath, and you put all your energy into that. You don't do anything else. You haven't got the thought of, if I do this, if I put all my energy into getting one breath, what if I lose? What if it doesn't work? You haven't got that idea. That idea is not there at all, right? It's not there. The only thing you've got in your mind is getting the next breath. You are focused. You are concentrated. You've got your mind on one thing. That's all. One thing, right? You're not thinking about losing, because why aren't you thinking about losing? Because if you think about you're thinking about losing, you're going to die. See? You're going to drown, right? You're thinking about living, and you're thinking about fighting until you do live. So you don't think about losing, do you? You don't. You never ever do when this happens to you. Because if you do think about that, you end up drowning and you end up dead. See? Now, how many people understand that you've got to do this in your business, right? How many do? How many realise that you've got to be focused? You've got to be on one thing. You've got to be concentrated. You've not got your mind on losing. You've got to be, one single-minded. You cannot be a drowning man and think you're gonna drown, because if you do, that's what's going to happen to you, and you'll be dead. See? So you concentrate on getting your next breath, and that's the only goal that you have. See, that's the goal. One goal, one purpose. See, one thing. Get the next breath. That's it. That's your goal. It's your purpose. It's the only thing that you want to achieve. That's it. You don't have any thoughts about failing. Of course you don't. If you get your next breath, then you succeed, don't you? And you have a success, and then you get out of the water and you live, okay? And then you go back into your wanderings, and you change, and you forget about what just happened, and which was a lesson to teach you what to do in life. And that's to be focused, to have a goal, to have a vision, to do, until you succeed. You've got no choice when you're in that situation. You have to do until you succeed, until you get that breath. There is no second chances here. You have to do it, otherwise you die. Right? That's it. So you get busy living, or you get busy dying. See, that's what it is. The one who fights to live is the one who wins, not the one who, I can't do this, it's too hard, away they go, away off they go, making excuses. Now, when you're in the condition of drowning, do you make excuses? Right? Because if you make excuses when you're drowning, you'd be dead. You have to understand. See, this is a principle. A drowning man is learning how to succeed. Right? One goal, one vision, one mission. That's it. Get the next breath. I've had this happen to me, so I know this is true. Because if I didn't do this, and did I focus on losing? Did I focus on, I can't, I'm going to drown, did I do that? No. I focus on one thing, get the next breath. And I live as a result of it. I live because I committed to that, and I succeeded in getting the next breath, and the next breath after that, and then I am alive. But it's the principle of success here, you see. I didn't have anything else on my mind. One thing, concentrated, a goal, Yeah, a purpose, a reason to carry on, a reason to get that next breath. That's all I had on my mind, nothing else. See? So there was no space for any other thought. Okay? Eh? And this is critical, absolutely critical to success, right? You can't think that you're going to lose. You can't make excuses either, because if you're drowning and you make excuses, you end up dead. Eh? That's what happens to you. You get people, and because they're not drowning and they're not in that situation, they do. What do they do? Oh, that's too hard. Oh, I can't do that. It's just too no. I want a safe, secure job. You know. I've got to have a job. I've got to have a degree. There's all the excuses under the sun, man. But you drown. You don't get into the drowning position, and see how many excuses you have then. You have none. See, there's no excuses. You either succeed in getting your next breath, or you die. That's the choice. You don't have any other choices. But as soon as you get out of that situation, right, then you make all the excuses again. You get into this, this fear mechanism, right? That's what happens. And you're making excuses. Oh, it's too hard, away you go, and it's a typical waste of time. You don't do that when you're the drowning man. You don't. Your only concentration, your only goal, is to get that next breath, and that's when you are a success, because you didn't have a thought on failing. You only had a thought on succeeding. That's all. Once you change your thinking, well, things will happen for you. You see, you're thinking about you succeeding when you're a drowning man. You're not thinking about dying. Nobody is. Nobody does that. Nobody thinks about dying. When they're in the drowning condition, when they're being drowned, right? When they're the drowning man or woman, doesn't make any difference. You see? You have to think on these things. So anybody who's had this happen to them, it can just regress back into what happened and realise the truth. They succeeded. They learnt success. You see? That's what happened to them. And they didn't even know that that's what they were experiencing. They were experiencing all the principles of success in that event. And they didn't even know it. See? So we're all wired to succeed, to live. We're all wired for that. And so when we become the drowning man or woman, we want to succeed. We want to get our breath. That's all we want. See, and when you want it bad enough, like a drowning man, then you're going to get what you want, aren't you? Because why? Because you've got no excuses. There's none. You realise that making excuses is a waste of time. You get to it, right, and you work. And you work to get your next breath. You don't want to drown in the economy. Same deal, right? A lot of people do drown in the economy. Why? Because they're not focused enough. They're not motivated enough. You see? But when you're a drowning man, boy, are you motivated, or drowning woman, you are totally motivated and totally concentrated and totally focused on one purpose. And that's all it is. You know what you have to do if you want to live. See? And you don't think about failing. You don't think about, it's too hard, You don't think about the excuses and all the rest of it. No, you only think about one thing. You're on one thing, and that's all. Your mind is on one thing, and one thing only. Singly focused on one thing, getting that next breath. I know this because I've had it happen to me. And you'll do anything and everything to get that next breath. Well, if you want to succeed in business, that's what you've got to do. Be the same. Use that experience to your advantage, and you will get success. There's no doubt about it. You will. Because you see, you've experienced the drowning man or the drowning woman, so you can reflect on that experience and know the truth. See what you have to do. Okay? I mean, it's really simple, but it's also very profound. I've had this happen to me, so I know that this is the truth. I lied in my bed one night and realised that I had that experience, and what did I do? I just examined it. I pulled it apart, and all of a sudden it dawned on me, hang on, this is the principle of success. Yeah, because I succeeded in not drowning. See? It couldn't be more simple, but I examined it and pulled it apart and realised there's all these principles involved in this event. See? Yeah, it's just cool. Absolutely. It's absolutely cool. Anyway, if you like this content, okay, if you like it, then smash the like button. If you think this is relevant, which I think it really is, because most people don't understand what it takes to be successful. And if you've had this experience, then share it with your friends. I'm sure they'd like to know about this. And don't make excuses. Don't make excuses. Because I mean, if you're drowning in the economy, right, then it's like being the drowning man or woman. Huh? I mean, if you want to more content like this, more instruction, more knowledge, then just subscribe to the channel, and you'll learn more. See? Okay. So think on these things.